Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. One day before the ban on single-use plastic, the government is again on the defensive. On TVJ's Smile Jamaica program on Monday, Minister with responsibility for the environment, Darrell Vaz, responded to suggestions that the government is rushing the process. Details in this report.
In less than 24 hours, the ban on single-use plastic bags takes effect, along with the importation of styrofoam, and the government is again insisting the move is not being rushed. Minister with responsibility for the environment, Darrell Vaz, was on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program on Monday.
It has been on the table from 2016. I've mentioned it in my sectoral budget debate speech 2 years straight. There is a way and a method for the transition to happen smoothly, both in terms of those who have plastic bags that were imported prior to September will be dealt with, as well as making sure that we plug the loop at the wharf in terms of additional plastic bags below 24 by 24 coming into Jamaica.
He also addressed concerns raised by business owners about the use of styrofoam.
Tomorrow is for single-use plastic and the importation of styrofoam products, not the manufacturing of which is done locally. So the styrofoam will continue until 2020. But to simplify it, scandal bags 24 by 24 is what is banned as of tomorrow. There are other exemptions that will be told and continue public education as we go along.
As for finding an alternative for plastic bags,
the question that is being asked, what do we replace it with? And you would have heard already yesterday that we have gotten 30,000 reusable bags. We're going to be using and working with the distributive trade and the retailers to try and get that number up to probably 150, 200,000 so that we can try and start to help to make this change.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, Minister Vaz met with members of the business community this morning to discuss compensation for those that still have plastic and styrofoam items in stock. Compensation will only apply to stock bought before the ban was announced in September.
Whether it's a tax credit or whatever it is for the large stocks that are there, what we will do, we will take those in and find an environmental friendly way to get rid of them.
When contacted, PSOJ President Howard Mitchell said the meeting went well. He, however, declined to state the outcome, saying Minister Vaz will speak on the issue. With threats being made against police personnel in the Kingston Western Division, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says steps are being taken to ensure their safety. The National Intelligence Bureau reported that the Fatherless and Sox gangs based in Rema and Trenchtown are planning to kill a sergeant and 2 constables. In an interview with our news center, Dr. Chang said the police were informed of the threats via social media.
My primary comment is that this reflects the fact that the police officers work in extremely difficult situations across the island, where we have a homicide rate in excess of 50 per 100,000. The criminal organizations in these communities will in fact challenge the police when they feel it is in their just do so. So we take it as a credible threat. The commanders in the area, of course, will take steps to intercept any action that might be taken by them in terms of aware of their activities and the person involved. And while you cannot lock up anybody for charge anybody for the threat the way it is issued that came on social media.
The threatened police personnel have been involved in operations aimed at disrupting gang activities. The gangs have been linked to major crimes in West Kingston, including extortion, contract killings, and robberies. The National Water Commission NWC has explained why there was flooding on Friday in the Ferry community located off the Mandela Highway in St. Andrew. 3 houses were inundated when water from a broken NWC main flowed into their community. Several houses were also flooded on December 8. The transmission pipeline was later turned off, resulting in no water or low pressure in sections of the corporate area. The NWC says it is working to distribute water from other sources. NWC President Mark Barnett said the main was turned off as part of an investigation.
What would have been happening, we're looking at how we can actually serve the community, that area where residents have been very vocal about not having water. Plus, we also have the industrial estate, which is a lot of industrial entities out there that need to be served as well. So we would have been looking to see how we can use existing supplies out there. So that any flooding would have been probably temporary as a result of the investigation and work that would have been happening to assist in providing water through the pipes rather than looking at possible chucking, because that is totally impossible to do on a daily basis in that general locality. So work is happening, but it is to improve the volume of water that we would have been, that we could possibly move. And that is what we are trying to do in every instance. So there might be a temporary occasion when flooding occurs as a result of pulling pipes just to do some other investigation on the network in the vicinity of the ferry pumping station, which is where the community is, well, at very close proximity.
Residents of Kent Portland are appealing to the relevant authorities to fix the roads in their community, which have been in a deplorable state for more than a decade. Details in this report.
It's a hard road to travel for residents of the Kent community in Portland. They say for more than 30 years, the roads in their community have been in a deplorable condition.
This road was built from shingle. This is the bottom of the road. If this gone, we doom. These used to be broke stone when people broke stone on the side of the road and they use it same place on the road. They stopped do that. They just go down the river and get the big rocks and throw it, and they still can't hold the road.
The residents complain that the poor condition of the road is taking a toll on their pockets.
I have a transport bus that travels from here to Port Antonio, and every minute we have to change front end, change tires because of the road surface.
As for the elderly,
sometimes they're in the bus, they like crying for pain because the bus just moving up and down with them. So for over the years, they're going through this.
When you go to Port Antonio and come back, we're tired. We have to go into a bed, go and sleep. We're tired. It jerk up our body.
they say it gets worse when it rains. When TVJ News visited the community, this man was seen making a makeshift drain to get rid of some of the water on the road. The residents say they have contacted the National Works Agency, NWA, about the matter.
When they put out effort and send one tractor and they come dig up the road, then you get more water because the road mash up.
When they put the river shingle, if they did mix it with a little marl, it would be better, but they don't. So the river shingle as the rainfall is the same thing. It can't stay in the pothole. I'm appealing to the MPs and the councillors to help us out in this Rio Grande area.
But the Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern explains that it's a challenge to rehabilitate the roads in that area.
This is one of the most highest rainfall in the entire Western world. And so it has always been an issue and a challenge. And because of so many erupting springs and rivers, and it is a river valley, and so we have the challenges with roadways. All the roads up in that area are suffering from the same set of conditions. And unless we get enough funding to be able to do the work that is prescribed, we will not go any further.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Now, as you already know, come tomorrow, the ban on single-use plastic bags and styrofoam will take effect. Earlier this morning, Minister with responsibility for the environment, Darl Vaz, held a press conference, which is still ongoing, and our reporter Herman Green now joins us for an update. Herman?
Good afternoon, Andrea. Yes, the press conference is still going on. Minister Vaz is, of course, using the opportunity to basically reinforce and to explain what has already been said. Now, he says prior to today's meeting, or the 11 o'clock press briefing, he met with the PSOJ, the JMEA, and the PIOJ. Representatives from those groups, they actually are fully on board. As a matter of fact, their presidents are each here in today's press briefing, and they're all on board with the plan for the ban, which takes effect tomorrow morning. There are, of course, concerns. Persons are raising questions about garbage disposal, how you'll be disposing of bags that are already here. And right now, they are going through the process of answering those questions. But what Mr. Vaz is basically saying, he wants support. He's calling for the support, not only of the business organization, but also of regular persons, Jamaicans in general. He has also listed policy and email address where persons can contact the minister about it at NEPA. The email address for that is policyonplasticban@nepa.gov.jm. So they're really taking the opportunity to advise, to clear up any misconceptions, and to answer questions that persons have about the ban. Of course, it will take effect tomorrow morning, and they're going through the ropes of explaining, starting our educational campaign, which should be going off tomorrow into the coming weeks. That's all we have for now. Andrea, right now, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, our reporter Herman Green, reporting live from Jamaica House, where a press conference is still ongoing about the ban on single-use plastic bags, which take effect tomorrow. In news overseas, scores of people have been killed after a powerful storm swept through the Philippines over the weekend. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Agency says Tropical Depression Osman brought heavy rains on Saturday, causing flooding and triggering deadly landslides. In its latest update, the death toll climbed to 68, with 12 people injured. At least 19 others are still missing. Still overseas, 4 people are feared dead and dozens missing after a suspected gas explosion ripped through an apartment building in southern Russia on Monday. Russia's emergency ministry said that 4 people had been pulled alive from the partly collapsed building. 68 residents were still missing from the building, and some 120 people were being housed.
We are following developments of a suspected gas explosion at an apartment building in Russia. Rescue workers are searching for survivors in the city of Magnitogorsk after a blast caused part of a high-rise building to collapse, trapping people inside. State news agency TASS, the Russian state news agency TASS, reports at least 3 people have died and the fate of 79 people is still unknown. We will, of course, bring you developments on this story as soon as they are available.
And in sports, Jamaica Cricket Association Chief Executive Officer Courtney Francis says Stephanie Taylor's nomination for the R.J.R. Gleaner Sports Foundation Sportswoman and Year Awards is big for the sports locally, even if she doesn't win the top prize.
Sports awards are nothing new to West Indies captain Stephanie Taylor, having won several since making her international debut in 2008. The 27-year-old has been named West Indies Women's Player of the Year on more than one occasion, and it's no different internationally. She was ICC Women's Cricketer of the Year in 2011. 12 months later, she picked up the award for the ICC Women's One-Day Player of the Year. In 2015, she was awarded the ICC Women's T20 Player of the Year, but the RJR award has been elusive. But despite missing out on the RJR Gleaner Award, JCA CEO Courtney Francis says Taylor's nomination is still a proud moment for the association.
Well, we're happy. Stephanie has been a standout for us for many, many years. She has been an inspiration for a number of female, right? So not just in Jamaica, but right around the world. She has been outstanding, and noticeably she has been a nominee for many years in succession, which means that she has been performing, at a high level globally for an extended period. So we are very proud of her. We think that her nomination is significant too, in that cricket has been a dominant sport for the region for a number of years, and she's just cementing that for us.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.